What's up, y'all? Tyler's back with another retro reviews here on Tyler's Retro Reviews once again with another cleanup review with the first of two SummerSlam reviews. Yeah, we're doing two this year, so there's that. Um, yeah, yeah, you know you thought I was not gonna do this one, but again, I'm gonna try to clean up these two, and then I'm going back to the retro review schedule for Thursday for this one. For next one will be the next one, SummerSlam 1994, which we're gonna talk about 1993 right here. This was actually not terrible, actually, besides the awful ending, but we'll talk about that. Yeah. Anyways, August 30th, it was in the Palace of Auburn Hills in Auburn Hills, Michigan. So, yeah. So, I look at this roster, look at this timeline WWF in 93 after WrestleMania and all that. It was not that great, honestly. Let's be honest. Hogan was gone again. Savage was not an important role at this point. Mean Gene was gone. He was going to WCW anyways. Heenan was counting his days before he was going. Survivor Series 93 was his last stop, and we all know I already talked about Survivor Series 93 already. And other stuff. They make Lex Luger the next top guy, but we always know what's going to happen in the main event, but we'll get to that in a moment. Other stuff, Jerry Lawler was going to get in trouble for something, but we obviously know that didn't happen here, but still. But yeah, this was kind of a real dark period, let's be honest here. Um, like I said, we're going back to tomorrow, like I said, on my main channel, going back to that for another episode of Showdown and all that. And then, like I said, the next SummerSlam review will be 1994. But we'll get to that. Anyways, speaking about last matchup, we get the first match, Razor Ramon defeating Ted DiBiase. This is Ted DiBiase's last one-on-one match. He did have a Battle Royal win on a Raw in 2007. That was like the 15th anniversary one, but does that one count really? I don't. Yeah. All in all, it was a decent match. It was helped to make Razor a babyface because we all know about that. He lost to 1-2-3 Kid on an episode of Raw in May. Yeah. And yeah, it was a decent match. I give it a 6 out of 10. So there is that. Anyways. Yeah. Next up is for the WWF Tag Team Championships. The Steiner Brothers of Rick and Scott defeat the heavily bodies of Jimmy Del Rey and Tom Pritchard. Really good match. I honestly surprised. This was a really good match. Um, yeah, 7.5 out of 10. I'll give it, and yeah, there was that. So like I said. And then we get for the Intercontinental Championship. Shawn Michaels defeats Mr. Perfect by countout to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Funnily enough, this was the first time that the Intercontinental Championship was successfully defended at a SummerSlam. Shawn did it again in 95, and then Edge did it in 2004. Ugh, 2004, I had to say that again. The less I said about that, the better. Because too much I hate that fucking show. I know a lot of people don't like said this was a letdown, all that, but I honestly enjoyed this for what it was, minus the count-out finish. Although it protected both of them, so I understand the count-out finish, and there's that. I give it an 8 out of 10. This was honestly the best match on this show. And yeah, I honestly did enjoy this until the counter finish. I was giving it a little higher, but the counter finish kind of hurt it, really. Not ruined it, hurt it. That's the best I can say about it, really. Yeah. And then we got IRS defeating 123 Kid. Why was this on the show? No idea. 4, I'll give it. It was there, really. And I'm going to combine these two matches because they're one of the same, really. It's Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler. So Bret Hart won the King of the Ring tournament. Yeah, that's 193 period I hadn't done yet, but that's later down the road, really. So yeah. Lawler says, bad unto me, and then Bret Hart called him the Burger King, and then this led to this whole program that led to all the way up to the 95 King of the Ring. Yeah, the less I say about 1995 King of the Ring, the better. Still. And all that. Now Jerry Lawler was faking a knee injury to get out of this match, so his substitute was Doink the Clown. Now, I hadn't seen any heel Doink before, besides WrestleMania 9, of course, but still. But yeah, he was playing, bad mind games, really. So, Bret Hart defeats Doink the Clown by disqualification because Jerry Lawler faked that damn knee injury. It's a gimmick knee! And Bobby Heenan says it's a miracle and all that. Of course, heel commentators gotta be the heel commentators. Why can't we get this nowadays? But then, the match between Lawler and Bret Hart happened. And Bret Hart made Jerry Lawler submit to the sharpshooter, but Bret Hart would not let go of the sharpshooter, so he got himself disqualified. The referee reversed the decision, so Jerry Lawler defeats Bret Hart by disqualification. This was good storytelling right here. Until Jerry Lawler got in trouble with that, of course, because this was supposed to lead to Survivor Series and all that. But that didn't happen. We obviously know. If you want to know, you know about my Survivor Series 1993 review. Yeah, Shawn Michaels took Jerry Lawler's spot in that match. This whole thing was just a 5 out of 10 segment, really. Match, segment, whatever. I'm sorry, but it wasn't that great. I'm sorry. Anyways. And then we had Luger Borga. Yeah, we're not going to mention what he did, okay? Just don't, okay? Beat Margin by submission. It was just... Again, why was it on the show? But still. It was just... 1 out of 10. This should not be on the show, really. Yeah. No. Then we get this, a rest in peace match. It's just basically a no disqualification match. We all thought this was going to be some kind of like buried alive prototype match, but no, it's not. It's just a normal no disqualification match. The Undertaker defeats Giant Gonzalez. A little better than a WrestleMania 9 match, but it was still kind of sloppy. But The different thing about this is the urn got stolen for the first time. That was it. And Paul Bearer May is returned during this match. This was the first time Undertaker got the lights out entrance also. And it's against the end of John Gonzalez. In the WWF, really. And what the fuck is that outfit? At best, I give it a 3 out of 10, because it was somewhat watchable, but nothing redeemable about that match, really. And then John Gonzalez turns face. John Gonzalez turns face. Led nowhere. He was going after this. Anyways, then we get a filler 6-man tag match. Tatanka and the Smoky Guns defeats Bambi McGill and the Headshrinkers. I don't know why this is on the card. 5 out of 10. Moving on. To, the main event. The WWF Championship match between Lex Luger and Yokozuna. Now, Yokozuna defeated Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam. There were rumors there was supposed to be Hogan versus Bret Hart, but Yoko lost. Hogan dropped the title to Yoko at the King of the Ring pay-per-view. And Hogan was gone after this. And 1 year later, he was in WCW and all that. Hogan and Bret did not face each other until 1998, so that rumor is just a rumor. That's what it was. There was supposed to be a rubber match between Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan, but Hogan, like I said, left. So we need to do it. There was this body slam challenge on the USS Intrepid on the 4th of July and all that. Lex Luger was the last man to come out and did the body slam, and this led to the championship match here at SummerSlam. And there was an ad stipulation by Jim Cornette that said if Luger doesn't win the title by, he will no longer challenge for the title as long as Yoko is the champion or something like that. You're thinking Lex Luger's going to win the WWF Championship, right? Also, they did this whole this Lex Express type thing. You're thinking he's going to win the title and all that. Oh, this is going to... all that, right? Right? Lex Luger did defeat Yokozuna by countout. And the result of that, Yokozuna kept the title, and Luger cannot challenge for the title as long as Yoko's champion. Because of the clause in the contract. That clause went out the window by the Royal Rumble. Seriously? A fucking countout in the main event of SummerSlam? And like in the AA biography, little Jim Cornette says, if he won the title, he'd been over as hell. But this whole thing went over like a play of piss. Or whatever he said in that whole thing. Yeah, like, why couldn't he won the title? Oh, Bret Hart politics, I bet you about that. And the best thing about it, he was celebrating like he won the fucking belt. Or championship, rather. But he won by fucking count out. Why? Oh my god, like, you thought WCW made Babyface look stupid? Like, this was way stupider. Like, the match was going fine. Really fine until the fucking countout finish. And it took away points. I wanted to give this a 6.5 out of 10, but I had to give this a 5 out of 10 for that fucking result. Oh my god. A fucking countout, and Luger celebrates like he won the fucking championship. Yeah, Luger continued going for the title, but he never got the belt at the end because Bret Hart politicking his way to the title. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna blame Bret Hart for that whole thing. But spoilers for Thursday for the next SummerSlam review, '94 and all that. Yeah, that was SummerSlam '93. It was a SummerSlam that happened. Seriously, why? Oh, I give this whole SummerSlam a 6 out of 10. Really, it was okay, but yeah, I'll be back with my Thursday schedules for SummerSlam 1994, and we're done with that. And then tomorrow will be another episode of Showdown, which I was supposed to, like I said, last Wednesday, but we all know about that. You go back to my 4099 review. You obviously know about that. And moving on from there. So like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel, notification as well as my main channel also in there. I don't know how long, I don't know if I'm going to do another Raw and SmackDown review after all this, but still. I had to make that announcement. I don't know how I'm going to do those now, but still. I'll get back to my Power Rangers movie review like I said, but still. I had to do these to, what am I trying to say? I had to, like, do these so I get to SummerSlam 94, so there. Bye.